Art has never necessarily spoke to me, you could say. I've never suddenly pulled ideas out of my head from just glancing at a masterpiece. I connect with art through memories. Strange it sounds, it at least does to me, but if an art piece can bring back a memory of mine, if I begin to remember something important to me, this masterpiece truly is special, in my opinion. When the class arrived at the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, we all knew which piece we wanted to find. The question was, would we even find it? Or would we end up changing our minds and moving on to a different piece? There were many pieces. Some were abstract, and some were much simpler. There were the pieces outside, moving slightly from a water ripple. Some gave very strong messages. And it almost seemed eerie. But then some were subtle, quiet, yet inspiring. Some pieces were made out of technology, but they were no different from just an oil painting. Some were in three-dimensional form, and some seemed nothing out of the norm. There were the pieces that sparkled and shined, and there were plain and squared and perfectly aligned. I liked the ones that had many colors. They seemed to lighten up our eyes. But they are no different, nor no more important than the ones we seem to cross by. Some pieces I got to enjoy with my friends. And there were the ones where I liked studying them alone, trying to pick out something that the piece could send. What I ended up was with the piece September Sunshine. It was painted by John Henry Twatchman in the late 19th century. This was his home in Greenwich, Connecticut. Now, it may be confusing to some to how a very simple one like this could bring back such a big message. When I looked at this painting, I automatically thought of home. The trees that surrounded the house, the blue sky, that one little white house. It may had seemed boring to some, but for me it didn't. It brought back this feeling of nostalgia. Memories filled my mind of how I was little and how I would run around the woods my grandmother lived next to. It made me miss the afternoon hikes I would take after the school day was over. It made me miss my youth. Yes, I am still young now, but now I will never have that feeling of relief when my grandmother kissed my scratched knees, and I may never see that forest again that rested so close to my school. That is how I knew this was a piece to talk about. To have a masterpiece bring back those tiny memories that helped me remember. is truly special. Well, in my opinion.